gonna have a limp and a painful life, and at some point it could go like disastrously downhill. You know, Bill jumps on her and hurts her permanently, because she always seems to be getting over a limp. So that one, it sucks, but I can come to terms with that one pretty good. And yes, I know I've got all the people doing the whole like, well, they're just cows, they're just commercial cows. If you didn't get so attached to them, give them names, it wouldn't be this bad. Well, if we didn't do it the way we did it, we wouldn't have a cow on our farm. We wouldn't do it. So, but this one's a hard one. That number right there. Every year there's at least one that's me and her have shared a lot of life together. Because the standing joke is a rancher will spend more times with his cows than his kids and his wife. Now in our farm, the kids and the wife spend as much time with the cows as the rancher does almost. Well, this girl here, me and her have been on this journey for over 14 years. And we do have a lot of history. And so yeah, this is a hard one. This is tough. Anyway, I gotta get on the road here. Here's Roscoe. Then there's this job. Yeah. So normally we wouldn't be cleaning the trailer at this time because we would still be doing some hauling around, but for all intents and purposes that's us done until we maybe go and fetch a bull or two. So yeah, might as well get the trailer cleaned out, because the longer you leave little patches that can get damp, the more chances your trailer starts rotting away. And that's one of the reasons this trailer has lasted so long, is we do a pretty good job at getting it cleaned out semi-regular. Trailer will get cleaned out probably twice a year. So, you know, we're not going to clean it out between loads. So just shove her off into this. Well, I'm actually in the ditch, but this is right my neighbor's cropped into the ditch here. But hey, that's fertilizer, and this is a low spot, so that'll do his crop good. So shovel this out, and then we can park it up on a slope near the pressure washer, and we can get it soaked. Get after it. They did not get far. Come on, Astro. You lead the way. Come on, baby girls, baby boys, come on. So, we'll still give them access to their shelter for now. We got Max that came and piled our cleaned the fence line. He's coming to pile the pens, because Mrs. Piper Doug and Daddy Piper Doug, they were conspiring to get pay other people to do some of the work around here versus me doing it all. So this is the first time I've ever hired somebody else to come in and pile the pans. So hey, Adam, I know you guys need sprayed, but so yeah, they're gonna love this. There's lots of eating in there. This paddock's not as big as this one, but this will give this paddock time to bounce back. The calves are not gonna like this, because they like sheltering in those old grain bins. So oh, they'll be happy. Hey, Panda. Hey, no, Panda boy. Deadpool. Panda girls there. Starting to figure it out. Come on, girls. Hey, Popper. Hi, Adam. Chancers. Chancer. What are you thinking? Hmm? Come on then. There you go. Yeah, look at all that lush grass. There you go. Yep. This is where the bull wall comes into play. Got two bulls on that side of the wall now. They can smell each other and hear each other, but they can't see each other, so they don't hang out as long and chew the ground up. Isn't that right, peanutters? Sweet girl. Oh, you're running away. He's running away as Peanut ever runs. Oh my gosh, just liquid coming out of you, boy. Honest to gosh. May take them a little while to figure it out to go down and around the fence and come back up to get water, but they'll figure it out. Yeah, they got a lot of good eating in there. That'll let this one bounce back. So a commonly asked question I get is why do we feed the cows so long into summer? Like realistically, the cows should be off the grass before we get to summer. And yes, they probably should. We've had good luck with letting the pastures get ahead of them, and then that way you've got a lot of really high growth on the fields, especially the southeast quarter of this section because it is sand. So by the time the cows get down there and it's quite dry and quite hot later in summer, the ground is really well protected from drying out by the growth. So it does really well lasting further into the fall, we found. But what we are planning going forward, once all the fences are updated to, as old Piper Doug says, the Alcatraz. So even if the power goes down, they ain't going nowhere, as they say. Like this fence here will probably eventually be updated, but it's not high on our priority here right now because we don't graze this field. We might do eventually, considering there's a nice big water source right there. Once all the fences are updated, our plans will be to put the cows out earlier onto the grass and then move them faster around all the paddocks. That way we never eat the paddocks down very far at all. Right now we don't feed the paddocks down bare. We feed them down about halfway, maybe quarter left, and we move them on. And then by the time they come back round in the fall, there's a little bit of bounce back if we've had moisture. If not, it usually just kind of sits still, grows some new shoots, but it doesn't come on a whole heck of a lot. But I know it would do really well if we moved them through the paddocks faster, just knocked it down a little bit, and then by the time we did started drying out, the cows had already been round the paddocks once, and then we can settle them in to graze a little bit more long term then. Look at that, it's higher than the fence posts. The grass is anyway, the alfalfa's not. Now we definitely haven't had the rain normal years, but we're doing really well. And I'm not boasting, I'm just saying I'm appreciative of what we have compared to a lot of people. because they still have had no rain up north. Big shout out to Cameron Hodgins and our young Garrett Kent, neighborman's boy. Oh, I've got a deer coming across here. Garrett Kent was in our daycare just as a little toddler. Now he's a grown man, and him and Cameron Hodgins are loading up on the bush truck from our fire department, and they're heading north. That's a big kahuna. So yeah, the last I'd heard, the fire was 8 or 9 times the size of the city of Winnipeg. So I can't even imagine the destruction. And the irony is, we don't get a lot of smoke here. It seems to be going around us and going down to the US for some reason. Maybe it's tariffs. So yeah, this fence here is getting updated. So this will get, those 2 strands of electric will get moved up out of the way. There is already a strand of barbed wire there. It'll get moved up to the top, and then 3 more 3 more strands of barbed wire will get added to it. Technically, we should move that fence back towards the road because the fence is quite far into our land. But for all that, that would be a lot of work. And for however many more years we're going to be haying and having cows, we'll just rebuild the fence where it is for now, and then who knows, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, who knows, the fence will come down, and then we'll just farm right to the road, either haying or it'll get rented out to crop. I don't know if he has all of his crop in yet, but anyway, lots of deer track down here. So yeah, there'll be a nice little cut off of the roadsides anyway. The roadsides are definitely a lot higher than the field is. Okay, I'll bring you back when we get to the top. Unless we see the bear that's down here. I haven't seen it yet. I've only seen photographs. Look at that for a track. What is doing that? Woo. Something. That looks like it would be like a beaver track. Yep, there's a beaver down right there. So there is some grass starting to come back on this field. When we sowed this 4 years ago, it was a 50-50 blend. It was only the alfalfa that came up. Now there's not a lot of grasses coming up. There's only like a tall Timothy. I don't see much. No, there's a couple different kinds. It's a brome maybe. Yeah. But it's a good catch anyway. This needs tidying up at some point. We are planning on ripping this up and redoing it as well, but that's after the field they're in right now gets plowed up hopefully this year, and then the field down by the dam. So yeah, I got my new fence fixed. The wire was broken. They're gonna be happy to get in there. It'll probably be moved, letting them out the next week, I think. Lots of good grass. It's still green though. So I've got a little bit of fencing to do down to the bottom there to set up gateways, but after that we're ready to go. I think you saw in the last episode I was cleaning up a lot of the scrub that was along this fence here, so that's one of the jobs left to do before the golden girls and their calves come out. There's my rock, by the way. That's the other rock I was talking about in the previous clip. Brought in from around, and then this. I like to do that. I think it looks real neat and tidy. I like to build a kind of a machine that would have like a mower deck on a bit of an arm, like a Bomford. swings out and goes underneath the wire and it trims it back. So yeah, Hydro came out and sprayed a bunch. So looks good. So yeah, just gotta come back and tighten up this bottom wire and then we'll be good to go. And there goes Larry, Curly, and Mo. Chewy, Harley, and Squish. The last girls to go out of the corrals. So the only animals left in the corrals are the ones that can come and go for water in number 1, the youngsters. That's these guys gone. The opens left yesterday. And the Golden Girls pairs are down by the house. And that is it. That is the end of winter pens. Yeah, I just kind of made a choice looking at the only one that was still an if was oh my gosh, Chewy. Yeah, Chewy's the only one out of the 3 that we gave a remote chance, and she's down to the last few days and she's got no buds, she's got no chooch. Yeah, if she does pull a Queenie, because Queenie did that to us a few years ago. She did it to us last year too. She had no sign and we let her out and she calved a week later. She had no bag, no chooch, nothing. And yet she went and put out a beautiful calf. So if Chewy does do that, Chewy's an absolute stunner. She will do what she needs to do. So they just, Squish and Harley was the brockle one. They need to be at the bull. So that's the short and skinny of it. So now with these guys out, we can finally get all of the panels untied, unchained, all get ready to put away, start stacking these bales back out of the way to open up this space. That way Max can come in to pile the pans, and I need an alleyway from this opening back to number 2 for the cows and calves to come back and forward. We're going to turn this into a gate. Kind of just lends itself to the whole thing, and then we'll just kind of make a close off here. That way they're not having to come round the corner back and forward. There'll be a straight opening, I think. We'll see how it goes. So I got to put an alleyway there, and then I got to put an alleyway between 3 and 4 because we've got not an alleyway, a fence and gate. What are you doing? We got a gate between 4 and 5, so I'd like to break the paddocks down into singles instead of doubles right now. These wee guys coming for some water. Little trucks. Is that Mrs. Piper Doug's girl? Scrappy Doo! It is her. Have to bring her out to see you later, darling. Yeah? Okay. Recognize this place? So this was the big overhaul fence last year. So it's dip-de-doo time. So one last thing left to do to this fence is put on all the dip-de-doos. So I've run out with a couple of dozen left till the end. The wire's already here. So, dang mosquitoes. Get this done, and at least that's this. So then everything else will be south of the section. So the fence that goes across the creek beyond that bush pile has to get double dip-de-doos on it. And then there's dip-de-doos to go straight south towards that big bluff of trees away down at the bottom end there. And then there's the north end of the quarter there, that south quarter. That fence there is to rewire, and the bottom fence is to rewire. So some pretty good precise projects to do this year, but after that it's just smaller stuff. So and nobody else is coming to do it for me, so let's get on with her. A big bank of storms coming. We're out of power. we've been out of power since about 5 o'clock. And apparently, we don't have power till about 10 o'clock. Yeah, that's stinky. Oh, there's a gopher just come out of there. Whoa. Very clean. So, normally what I do is, once it's dry, which it almost is, then I'll bring in a bucket of old engine oil. I say it's cooled off. Bring in a bucket of engine oil and pour it down between all the boards. That way it gets to the frame and all the screws and help make it last a little longer. Wee little bagger, you. Anyway, gonna do some feeding. Oh yeah, we've got the new ram. So the ram repair was a little more money than I thought it was going to be. So they made a new tube and they made a new cap. So it's our original rod, piston, and it was almost $1,500. Yeah, that's a lot of... You honestly wonder how much more money would have been to buy a whole brand new ram. The crappy part was, you can't get these. So, according to him, the guy that of course sold us on it, these are $3,000 to replace. So, oh yeah. That's what I say to that. Yeah. Well, there you go. Started up. Cycled the ram. Now we've got a leaking hose. Honest to gosh. Honest to gosh. Well, a hose is a little bit more cheaper to fix than hydraulic ram. Now it looks like it's been through the war anyway, so oh well, it's just money. Hey wee baby. That's the last cab, 2025, right there. The Area 51's been bought, right there. It's been doing well. Then there's Harry. With that being the last three, the last one's out to the big herd. Yeah, I think we're probably going to kick the gates open and let the big crew out on the grass here right away, because I can give them 3 and 4 while I get the fence ready for 1 and 2, because 3 and 4 will last them a couple of weeks. So that will definitely take the pressure off, and we won't have to feed hardly any bales at that point. Actually, we wouldn't be feeding any bales except for the golden girls, but they don't eat a lot. So I try and get into the middle of the yard here, turn around because I don't want this open. I think Friday we're going to get the door replaced. I'm trying not to stab the other tractor. That would be handy. So yeah, that was kind of a crapper with that finally getting a hydraulic ram back and then having a hose pull. But according to them, they'd said that tractor had sat for a while, hadn't been used, so I suppose everything's sort of everything's sort of getting old and wrinkly, kind of like the owner, me. Not Mrs. Piper Doug. No. She's 29 again, for those that don't know. Yeah, a big storm has swung right to the south of us. And then there's another one to the north. It's hard to see. Woo! Down Oak Lake. Hey, 3D Ranch. Hey, Michael, Sherry. How's your night? Well, you guys on the sand, you need all this rain. We don't. We're probably a week or so out from cutting hay, so no. Get the cows onto the grass, and then that'll let me start getting equipment ready. So we'll leave her there. Thanks for watching, everybody. We're sure glad you came for a visit, and we look forward to your next stopping by. So, tatty bye.